Good evening. You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88 Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. I'm Chris Costich. Alongside me, the Ravens homer, here to talk about the Thursday night football game last night where the Ravens able to handle business. And other than that, other NFL news, Keenan Allen getting the 10,000-yard receiving mark this past week. And a new documentary, Patriots documentary coming out on Apple TV. Probably talk about that a little bit, probably not. But the main part of this week 11 preview, gonna preview all the games coming up, including an incredible Kansas City versus Philadelphia Eagles matchup on Monday Night Football. And that's all here on the Fumblerooski podcast. All right, let's get right into it. Flock beating the Bengals on Thursday Night Football. And, I mean, if we take away the injuries aside to Burrow and Andrews, the Ravens took care of business. That's probably the easiest way to really look at this.
Mm-hmm.
But you really have a lot of concern here with Mark Andrews being out for the year. Tuck, you were just saying right before the show that you're happy that it's nothing more serious like an Achilles or anything like that. Just keep it at an ankle injury, keep it as minor as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of the fact, he's out for the year.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. After a very pleasant night hearing the news that Mark Andrews was going to be out for maybe the whole season, likely the whole season, is a very unfortunate situation. As we all know, he's Lamar Jackson's go-to guy, so it is a big blow to the offense. We'll see how the Ravens adjust now that we have these this 10-day bye to look at and see how the offense adjusts around him. But overall, without Mark Andrews, I think we did okay, to say the least. Odell Beckham stepped up when we needed to. Rashad Bateman finally got that elusive touchdown he needed to. Zay Flowers should have had a touchdown, but rough ball got in the way of that. But overall, I think the defense played amazing as it always does, even though we gave up a touchdown to Jamar Chase. Lucky. But all in all, we came, we saw, we conquered, we took care of business. We swept our division rivals like I knew we were going to do. But everyone thought that, Joe Burrow and those pesky Cincinnati Bengals were going to beat us. Maybe next time. Maybe next year.
Maybe next time when Burrow's actually healthy.
He was. I don't care what anybody tells me. He was healthy enough to play the first game against us. He looked awful, but he was healthy enough to play.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that all came about, though. Switching over to the Burrow injury real quick.
Yeah,
because he wasn't on the injury report for anything, and then all of a sudden, Bengals social media posts a picture of him wearing this like soft hand brace or soft cast on his hand. And all of a sudden, what's going on with Joe Burrow? And then first half, he can't throw the ball anymore and he's done for the day. Now the NFL's starting to look into this, starting to get a little investigation going on this, because why aren't you putting Burrow on the injury report? Why aren't you? I mean, yeah, you don't want to make it known that your star quarterback is
injured,
is hurt. But geez, if it's so serious that this dude can barely even maybe even grip the ball or throw the ball, why are we even putting him in extra danger when he just got off of that calf injury?
Yeah, I was worried about it. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and he can make a recovery from this. Hopefully it's nothing too like dangerous or dangerous. But looking at the injury, I think it's something that he sustained against the Houston Texans because it looks like it was something that was carried over into this game. And then when Jadeveon Clowney hit him, it looked like it hurt even more. And then when he threw that touchdown pass, it was like, oh, this is done. And that's strange because that's normally not what happens. Normally, after a touchdown pass, you think everything is fine. But when he went over to the sideline and tried to throw a ball, it was like, yeah, he can't do it. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks.
I know. And especially because this was supposed to be a really good game. This was supposed to be a
Yes.
very anticipated matchup or highly anticipated matchup because all these Thursday night games have just been
Awful.
awful.
Who came up with this?
I know.
The schedule has been awful this year.
And finally we get a good game and it's
And
ruined by injury.
it was a good game starting out.
Yeah, definitely was. But in the scheme of things, it just doesn't end up living up to the hype because you don't get Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson at the end of the day.
Nah. Which
But
is unfortunate to the Cincinnati Bengals.
I know it really is. But I think another thing to look at too is now the Steelers are really going to be in a prime. I mean, yeah, the Ravens are going to be in a prime spot to take over or to win the division now. Obviously, the Bengals, I think they're just done at this point because Lord knows how long Burrow's going to be out. And then the Browns, no more Deshaun. They're going to have to really rely on the defense right now. And the Steelers, Tuck, do you know what the Steelers' schedule is coming up?
Not off the top.
I'll read. I'll read
but
it
I
to
know
you.
they have us the following.
So I'll read you up until Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Browns, Bengals, Cardinals, Patriots, Colts, and the Bengals again. Maybe with Burrow, we don't really know how his injury is, but the Steelers could potentially be looking at, let's say, so they're 6-3 right now, maybe 7-3, maybe 8-3, 8-4.
Wait, when do they face us?
They don't play the Ravens till the 7th, January 7th.
That I really thought it was sooner, but my fault.
But regardless, the Steelers could even put themselves in a spot to be in a position where that last game is for the division.
Yeah, it could be because for some reason, even though they don't deserve some of these games, their defense keeps them in these games to where the offense finally scores and then the defense just closes it out just spectacularly. I don't know how they keep managing to do it. They did it against the Titans, they did it against the Packers. Game on the line, that defense is on the field. You know you need to score, and yet for some reason they just keep getting away with this. They've been out yardaged every single game of the season against every opponent, yet they're 6-3. That defense is legit. I don't know how Mike Tomlin continues to do this every season, where his teams just defer not to lose and they somehow pull out victories just out of nowhere. It's actually pretty impressive considering. I don't know how that offense is so bad yet still manages to pull out victories left, right, and center. And I still don't know how Matt Canada has a job. If Ken Dorsey can get fired, Matt Canada can get fired. I don't.
Literally. And it's the only reason Canada's going to stay is because it's the Steelers, and the Steelers can't change.
They will never change when it comes to their coaching policy.
They
will stick it out till at least the end of the season before they fire someone.
Oh, man. And that's the thing is you're going to keep having Matt Canada on, and it doesn't even matter because you still have that motherfucker, or excuse me, jeez, that guy, a head coach over there, Mike Tomlin.
Yep. And it doesn't matter if they stifle the development of Kenny Pickett, because you know what? They'll make it work because it's the Steelers.
Literally. And that's the thing, too, is the Steelers are kind of getting their offense or some of their weapons more involved, too. Like, Najee's starting to get more involved again. They're starting to swap, or they're starting to get his share with Jaylen Warren a little bit more intertwined.
Yeah.
A little bit. Deontay Johnson was getting a lot of good looks off the injury, but the problem is that George Pickens isn't getting as many looks now. So they still need to work on really spreading the ball out, but regardless, they are definitely in a very good spot compared to what it was probably 2 weeks ago.
I think they're getting better, if that's the right word here. I don't think they're getting worse on offense, because I don't think you can get worse with that group. With all the talent that they have, the play calling that they have is ridiculous at times. So all in all, I think if they can just get the play calling right, because they have the pieces and talent to make it work, if the play calling can just get there, I think this team can be very dangerous in the playoffs, because they can run the ball and play defense. And that's always a dangerous tandem in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing with the Steelers, too. They're built on that blue-collar, ground and pound type of thing. We're going to beat the hell out of you. That's what their city is, and that's what the team has always reflected.
I just, if they make the playoffs, I need Kansas City to knock them out of the playoffs. That's what I need.
And that's probably what's going to happen.
That's if Kansas City's the 2 seed.
True.
They're probably more than likely the 1 seed, and we'll be the 2, and we'll have to knock them out.
I think. Well, if the Chiefs lose, then the Ravens will definitely have the 1 seed at that point. And I'm saying like this week.
We wouldn't be the 1 seed. They'd what's their record? 7-3 or 7-2 or 6-2?
They're 7-2. So
if they lose, then yes, we'll have the 1 seed. But
yeah,
for that moment. But that's until we have a bye.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys haven't had the bye yet.
No.
That's week 14 for the Ravens bye.
I can't wait for that, because then we hopefully get some of our pieces back.
Yeah, you probably will at that point. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the Week 11 preview. A lot of good games on this Week 11 slate coming up here on the Fumblerooski podcast. You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 88 Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. Chris Costich, Justin Tucker. Tuck, any football news you want to discuss before we get into the Week 11 slate?
Nothing in particular. Other than Kyler Murray coming back and actually getting his first win of the season. Congratulations, Kyler. You look pretty good off that ACL injury.
Yeah, no, Adam and I were talking about especially with the top 5 picks, and we're talking about the Bears. The Bears were on the honorable mention for the top 3 because last Thursday they were able to beat the Panthers, obviously, and get themselves closer to a first round or to that first overall pick. Now that Kyler Murray's back, their Bears are probably going to have a higher chance of landing that first overall pick now, because Kyler Murray, depending on how Kyler Murray does, obviously, we don't know if he's going to end up going back to being a world beater or not, or being that fun, dominant, small player that he is. And that's the thing. Whenever Kyler Murray plays, the NFL is definitely better to watch. He's just a fun player to watch, all in all.
Yeah, but I have been interested in watching the Dobbs story unfold, because he was doing well in the Cardinals, and now he's doing well with the Vikings, even though he just got there.
Yeah, and that's going to be the Sunday night football matchup, Vikings-Broncos. So Josh Dobbs on primetime.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Broncos on primetime anymore.
Well, we can talk about that when we get there, but we have the Week 11 preview. Actually, I do have one more thing. Did you see the Patriots? They're on Apple TV coming out with a new 10-part documentary.
What is it revolving around?
The whole dynasty.
Oh no.
The whole dynasty.
The whole from beginning to from 2001 all the way till what, 2019?
Yeah, I'm assuming when Brady leaves.
Yeah. That.
As a Patriots fan, I'm very excited for it. I just
Mhm.
hate how it's on Apple TV. Like the one thing that I know nobody that has it.
You would have to go out of your way to get it if you're that much of a Patriots fan.
I'd have to go on like an illegal streaming site if I wanted to do it because I don't want to get Apple TV.
You could just get it for the free trial and then what, a month or a week, just watch it then and then just cancel it.
Yeah, true. I could wait till everything comes out, but that'd be I'd have to wait 10 weeks unless they did it the way they did the Last Dance and they came out with 2 episodes every night.
Maybe. Oh,
Maybe.
man. But I wouldn't mind watching Brady rise up to being the GOAT. I wouldn't mind watching that.
No. I think it's something that everyone should watch because that's just a point of NFL history that we may never see again.
Nah, not from the Patriots the way they're looking.
Well, yeah. Well, not right now, obviously, but in the
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when it comes to Kansas City though, because they do have 2 rings in 5 years.
yeah, true. I didn't think about that and even this year, KC could even make a run at it too.
Mm-hmm. So
But
it could happen.
it could. But moving on, the 1:00 slate will start with the Steelers and the Browns. I just mentioned about this, how this is the first game on the Steelers' upcoming schedule that kind of looks like they have, wouldn't say really a cakewalk, but it's definitely a easier schedule for them, to say at least.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland by 1.5, though. So obviously Vegas is still very confident in Cleveland's defense, but I don't know.
I got the Steelers just barely.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason Kenny Pickett just turns the ball over at an abysmal pace, I got the Steelers winning that because I'm not sure if I trust PJ Walker or Dorian Thompson Robinson.
No, I don't either. And I mean, yeah, you got a couple wins out of PJ Walker, but I think DTP is supposed to be the starter for this week at the very least.
I need more, but again, he'll have more time to prepare than a couple of hours before a game. I think that's fair. I think he didn't have a fair showing against the Ravens of all teams as your first game.
Yeah, true.
Me having a couple of hours to prepare as the starter. That's not fair on him. So hopefully this week he actually has time to prepare.
So we're both in favor of the Steelers here.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be by a field goal because I don't trust that offense.
No, I definitely agree. Bears Lions. This is easy. Lions. The spread's at 7.5. I'll say Lions by like 14.
Lions by 10 is yeah, Lions by 14 is a safe bet. I don't want to give too much credence to the Lions, but this is an obvious one.
Yeah. And Justin Fields also back as well. So maybe the offense for Chicago looks better.
Maybe they get a spark. Maybe.
Probably not, because it's still the Bears.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just giving them a little hope.
What were you saying?
Just giving them a little hope.
Just give them a little hope. I mean, look. Let's be real here. They do have 3 wins, so who's to say they can't get a 4th? Who's to say they can't get a 4th?
And then we watched the game Sunday, and they actually looked dominant.
The Bears are up 20-0. Chargers Packers. Chargers by 3. So the big one here was that Keenan Allen sprained AC joint. He said he's good to play. off topic. Did you see? So Keenan Allen breaking he got
Yeah, I
10,000
saw. I was
receiving
like,
yards, and the
I didn't. Mhm,
Chargers posted every single receiving yard that he got, and it was
mhm.
like an hour and a half video.
I was like, you guys are doing too much. I'm not sitting here for an hour and a half. Even though Keenan Allen is a great route runner, I'm not sitting here for an hour and a half. I've got things to do today.
Oh man,
But do the Chargers really need him to beat Green Bay?
yeah,
That I say yes, but again, it's an AC joint, and I don't want it to be like too like sit him out. But unless they feel like they actually need him, which they probably do,
they do. They really do.
I really
That
think
wide receiver core is just demoralized right now.
yeah, by injuries.
That's what I mean is they kind of need Keenan Allen because now they're on to their like fifth string wide receiver right now is there to go into their number 2 role.
Yeah. So if Keenan Allen can go, I'm fine with it. But if he's limping, then I'm like, no, don't go, and just heavily rely on Austin Eckler.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I feel like they're definitely gonna target Eckler a lot more in this game, or not like
yeah,
they don't already try to force feed him a little bit, but they already force feed the ball to Keenan Allen all
hmm
the time.
it's
So
not a bad
maybe,
option. Not a bad
yeah.
option.
Oh my god, maybe we could start the conversation. Keenan Allen's top 5.
He could when he's healthy. Yes, I believe he's top five when he's healthy.
Yeah, as a Keenan Allen fantasy owner for multiple years, I mean, dude, he has saved me so many times in games.
hmm
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, he almost saved me against New Orleans. If he didn't go down against New Orleans, he would have won fantasy for me that week.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, so
but
all in favor of the Chargers here?
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about Jordan Love because starting the season he was fine, but he's kind of gone down to earth and even worse. He's going to hell right now. So I'm I obviously Justin Herbert's the better quarterback, so that's why I'm picking the Chargers, but I could see Green Bay being the better overall team and they could pull it out, but right now it's the Chargers.
Yeah, I could also see a Jordan Love big game. Maybe I want to say like we're not talking like a 400-yard game, but maybe we see like Jordan Love have like 2 touchdowns, 260 yards,
I could see it.
and have like maybe a 60% completion percentage. Say he's like 24 for 35 or something. I don't know if they decide to throw the ball that much, which they probably won't.
I
But
don't think it's necessary, but I believe he'll keep it close. I believe
yeah,
he'll
I
keep it
mean with
close.
that Chargers defense, you got to think that the Packers are going to at least put up some points.
Yeah.
I mean they're not the Jets. The Jets only put up what 6 points. I
The
don't even know.
Jets. We'll get to the Jets.
Raiders Dolphins. Um,
You
Dolphins
know
by
what?
13.
I might go Raiders here.
Really?
I might go Raiders here. I'm
Raiders
not
are a
sure.
500 team.
They are a 500 team. They're an undefeated team under Antonio Pierce.
True.
For whatever reason, he's got these players buying into his system, and he's got these players playing hard for him. So all in all, ooh, I, I, I don't know why, but I want the Raiders this game because I don't know why I'm not trusting the Dolphins right now, but they're not looking as good as they once did.
Um, Dolphins. Here's the other thing, though. Dolphins are at home. Raiders are on the road. Raiders are 1-4 on the road. Dolphins are 4-0 at home.
That that's probably why I see people picking the Dolphins, but I'm going out on a limb here. I know it's going to be a shocker, and I'm probably wrong, but I think the Raiders are going to win this one for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
I mean, yeah, any given Sunday. Why
Yeah,
not?
and I see
But
like Max Crosby like tearing it up.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this, though. Dolphins are coming off the bye. They're all. Is A-Chan supposed to come back this week? No.
I think he's coming back soon. I'm not sure if it's this week.
It's either this week or next week. I forget. Great. Now you got me looking at the injury report.
Yeah, he's supposed to return.
Prepared. Oh,
He's supposed to return.
Coach Mike McDaniel relayed Dolphins are prepared to activate him off of IR ahead of Sunday's game. What is a decision on that front in line to be made after today's practice, actually?
If he gets his feedback, oh my.
So we'll end up finding out after the recording of this podcast, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to one last thing, though. I'm gonna go Dolphins, but to your point of how this is a much different Raiders team, I don't think it's gonna be a 13-point Dolphins win.
Mm-mm.
I think that the Raiders will definitely cover on this, and I'm thinking more like inside 10, maybe a one-score game. Maybe it's like 28-20 type of thing.
I could see a 28-24 type of score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
What was that?
Yeah, that's good. I'm liking that score, 28-24.
Giants Commanders. Washington by 8.5. If you're taking the Giants at all for any reason, and you're gonna take Tommy DeVito as you're gonna bet Tommy DeVito as the quarterback.
You must have a lot of faith in that Giants defense to score points. You must have a lot of faith in that Giants defense.
Good luck, Charlie.
And if Saquon is healthy, I do not think he can just carry this team on his back for that long. He cannot carry this team on his back like that because he's the only reliable weapon that they have.
Oh,
it's the Commanders, and I don't think it's going to be relatively close.
No, and the Commanders are playing much better football. Sam Howell, I don't know if you saw this. Sam Howell is currently leading the league in passing yards this year.
Yes, but he's also leading the league in sacks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even despite all the sacks, it seems that the Eric Bieniemy system
works.
It works. It works. It's making Sam Howell look like Patrick Mahomes. Not actually, but like
you can see something. You can see some of the things they did in Kansas City.
Yeah, definitely. And it makes me want to believe that Sam Howell is definitely going to be the guy for Washington down the road.
Yeah. Hopefully they found their franchise guy after many, many years of searching.
That'd be nice. But the line here's at 8.5. I'd say Washington by 14.
Yeah, I'd say Washington by 10 because I don't believe that defense is going to allow them to just get away from it like that. But by 10, I think that's fair because I just don't trust that offense.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, didn't Danny DeVito pass for like negative yards?
What was that? Oh, DeVito? Yeah, it was negative yards. I forget when it was, though.
Yeah, Commanders by 10.
Yeah. Cowboys, Panthers.
Cowboys dominate.
Cowboys by 10.5. I'll say Cowboys by 30.
Yeah, I don't. That's more of the realistic standpoint. I like Bryce Young. I just don't think it's his year this year. Maybe next year it'll be better, but this year, no. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good right now.
No, and Hayden Hurst, the tight end for the Panthers, just got ruled out for the moment. Assuming that he's going to be out for the rest of for just the week in general, but yeah, status just changed from questionable to out.
Yeah, so oh no, when I look at these teams on paper, Dallas better win. They can't lose this game. This may be a trap game, but it's not. They can't lose this game. They shouldn't lose this game.
No, they shouldn't. I mean, if you just double cover Adam Thielen and just pack the freaking box and just blitz Bryce Young till he dies, then like
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
you'll be fine. Let's be realistic here. They're not losing. Dallas by 30. I like that.
Dallas by 30. Titans, Jaguars in Jacksonville. Jacksonville 7-7. Here's a stat that will tickle your funny bone. Jaguars are only 2-3 at home. And the Titans are 0-5 on the road.
I don't. Is this their first meeting or is it their second one?
I forget. Let me check real quick. This is the first meeting.
Okay.
They're meeting again last game of the year.
All right, just making sure. This is oh man, it really depends on whether or not I see Derrick Henry going off like he usually does. But they're 0-5 on the road. I'm not sure if they'll continue that streak because it's a division rival. But I'm not convinced by Jacksonville right now. So I think I'm going Tennessee this time because Derrick Henry always shows up against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville hasn't looked good to me on paper yet. So yeah, I'm taking the Titans this time.
I'm just quickly looking through all the away games that they've lost. So the first one was against the Saints where they lost 16-15. Derrick Henry had 63 yards on the ground, and that was when Tannehill was still a starter, and he had 3 interceptions that game. The next one was the Browns. They lost 27-3. Derrick Henry, 11 carries, 20 yards. And that was when Tannehill was still the quarterback. He had 104 yards passing. Next loss. Yeah. Next loss. Colts. 23-16. Colts won. Derrick Henry, 13 carries, 43 yards. That was a better Tannehill game, but still not great. He in all of these away games, Tannehill has yet to throw a touchdown pass, and Derrick Henry has yet to score a rushing touchdown.
They were the home game against us?
Oh, no. Wait, what?
I'm remembering now that we were wearing away colors, but I didn't think we were the away team against the Titans.
Oh. Yeah, when you guys lost 24-16, yeah.
No, we won. We won against the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Almost lost, but we won.
Yeah. And then the Titans are on a 2-game skid right now. They've lost where they lost to the Steelers and the Bucs.
Yeah.
The Steelers game, Will Levis threw an interception. Derrick Henry had a better game, 17 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Titans quarterbacks still have yet to throw a passing touchdown on the road up until they still have yet to throw a passing touchdown on the road.
Really?
And Derrick Henry in all but 2 games or in 3 of the 5 games has rushed for less than 50 yards.
Yeah.
And the quarterbacks
They got to fix this somehow, some way.
Yeah. And the quarterbacks have yet to throw a passing touchdown, which is just absolutely absurd to me.
On the road, they haven't thrown a passing touchdown.
Yeah, on the road.
I think Will Levis will change that this week, but
I hope
too. But
I hope.
I'm picking the Titans. I hope that happens, but
I'm not picking the Titans, but I like Will Levis. I want him to do good.
Mm-hmm. Especially after that 4-touchdown game against the Falcons. But
yeah,
I'm still picking the Titans. Screw it. Let's see how far this goes.
I'll go Titan. I'm gonna say Titans cover. Nah, I really don't actually believe that. I think it's gonna be Jacksonville by 7 here.
All right.
So in that case, it'd be a push. But moving on to the final 1:00 game, Cardinals Texans. Kyler Murray's back. He's looking good again. CJ Stroud, obviously stud. Easy way to put it. Texans by 6, first of all. And CJ Stroud could, if he continues this role he's on, he's going to be the first rookie of the year and MVP since Jim Brown.
Mm-hmm.
which I really hope happens. If I was an MVP voter, I would be voting for him in an instant. Just the fact that he's putting up these numbers with much less turnovers than guys like Josh Allen and Lamar and Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow,
Mhm.
4 quarterbacks that are usually MVP candidates, and he's debatably having a much better season than those 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, he broke the rookie record for passing yards as a rookie, and that, oh man, against the Bucks. And I was watching that game towards the end because the Ravens dominated the Seahawks. So when I was watching the game against the Bucks, I was like, no, he's going to do it, and he was dicing them up towards the end. I was like, oh my god, he's actually about to score. They can't stop him. Why are they running this coverage? Blitz him. They didn't blitz him. He scores a touchdown. And that's all she wrote. I was like, this kid really just drove down the field with like a minute and something and scored the game-winning touchdown. This kid is a stud.
He is a stud.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't here for last week's episode. I actually predicted that that he would throw an interception against Cincy last week.
Yeah, it was going to happen
And he did.
eventually.
Oh yeah, and he probably, the projections have him only throwing 3 interceptions in general the whole year. So we probably won't see him throw another one until like week 18 for all we know.
I think a tip pass will happen. It's like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
An interception. Dang it. But other than that, I think it'll probably be like 1 or 2 more and that's it. Because I think he protects the ball very well, especially as a rookie.
Oh yeah. As a rookie, he's in such an amazing situation. We see this again and again, obviously, but like CJ Stroud is in one of the best situations you could ever be in as a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
A great young core around you, good O-line, good GM in Nick Caserio, a good head coach.
And
DeMeco
Ryans.
Yeah, and this is just, it's going to be a building block. This is a building block year, obviously, but this has been an extremely good building block year.
They could make the playoffs.
That's the thing, is they could even make the play. This was, oh man, this built. Yeah, I mean, the one downside you could say is that, now they're not really going to get a great draft pick as a team that's still trying to build. But
yeah, but when looking at it as a whole, they've done more with less under this head coach, under this quarterback. They actually believe they can make the playoffs, and they have a shot too. So I don't think they need to build much more. Maybe you get a few more pieces on offense, maybe someone on defense, especially at the corner spot if Derek Stingley can't stay healthy. I mean, can't stay healthy. But all in all, this team, they might be formidable in the next 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah, and they'll definitely be a wild card team this year. But for all we know, they could be going for that division title next year.
They might go for it this year, all things considered, with what's going on in the South.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that they could even do it this year too. But I don't know. I'm just gonna pump the brakes until I actually see it. But
yeah.
All right, to the actual game though. The spread's Texans by 6. I'd say, I don't know. With Kyler Murray out, it just feels like this could really come down to the wire. If you were to ask me 2 weeks ago how this game would play out, I would have said Texans by like 14. But now you got Kyler Murray out, or Kyler Murray back. You got James Conner back. This could really go either way. I feel, or this could definitely be a much closer game than people realize.
I think 27-21 Texans. Because for some reason, even regardless, with or without Kyler, the Cardinals figure out ways to play teams tough and even manage to might steal one, just like they did against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So I believe they'll play it tough like they always do, and they'll lose by like a touchdown or something like that. So I was thinking 27-21. That type of score.
I like that. 27-21 is a good one. I think I could go with that. Probably like a 24-17 look, maybe.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals are definitely going to be putting up at least 20 points this game, though.
Mhm.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the 4 o'clock slate, as well as our Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football games. You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast.
Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football. They're saying it's a catch. This is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Swings it way down the field to Watkins. Sammy Watkins for the touchdown!
You are listening to the Fumblerooski podcast by Power 18 Radio and Secret Weapon Consulting. Chris Costich, Justin Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Time for the 4 o'clock slate. First one is an absolute doozy. Buccaneers and 49ers.
Actually, that actually might be a good game.
Yeah. I mean, the spread's
That
at
actually
12.
might be a good game.
Spread's at 12, but this Bucs defense is kind of underrated.
That Bucs defense is underrated, and Baker Mayfield has been underrated this year. I don't think he's getting the flowers he deserves, considering the way people were talking about him at the beginning of the season. And I was one of them. I didn't think he was going to play this well at the beginning of the season, but he's somehow turned it around. He somehow has made them competitive. He is keeping them in this game. And if it wasn't for CJ Stroud heroics, they would have beat the Texans. Because Baker Mayfield let them down and scored the game-winning touchdown. Well, through the game-winning touchdown, of course. But Baker Mayfield has been playing not out of his mind, but he's been playing very good. So when I look at them against the 49ers, I don't think they'll win, but, this game might be close.
And that's the thing, too, is that Baker Mayfield had a turnover problem up until this year, right?
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure he was in the top 5 for turnovers since 2018, since he came into the league. And this year, 14 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 2,100 yards, 65% completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, I mean, if he was on a better team, maybe we look at him as a Pro Bowler for all we know.
Yeah, him and Mike Evans have been unbelievable together. I think he just needed like a big body receiver to go up and get it, and he's finally gotten someone like that in Mike Evans.
I mean, yeah, and I think the problem too is like the receivers for the Bucs, I feel like more times than not end up selling out Baker Mayfield a little bit, like just untimely drops. I mean, yeah, you got some plays from Baker here and there where it's like, what are you doing? But there's been quite a few games where the Buccaneers really shot themselves in the foot. Yes. Monday Night Football against Philly. That's one that comes to mind the most for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so many opportunities to make that a closer game than it actually was. What was the score, like 27 or 25-11 or something like that? I don't even remember. But point being, yeah, that was a game that Tampa could have easily lost by one score. And they didn't because they kept shooting themselves in the foot by Baker Mayfield overthrowing a receiver, just missing a receiver a couple times, or the receiver just blatantly dropping the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just the little things like that. And if they were able to clean that up, it could have been a 3-point game.
They could have been a lot closer than people give it credit for. And that's how good that team can be when they're running on all cylinders. The defense isn't bad. The offense can be great at times. And Baker has proven that he is a quality quarterback and that can lead this team in the future if he continues this up. Now it's just, where do they go from here? Do they want to build upon this or do they want to rebuild? That's the question.
That's a big question right there.
Yeah.
Especially because you got Mike Evans aging a little bit as well. Is he in his 10th year now, right?
Yeah, he's in his 10th year, about to go into his 11th. But he's still a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, you got to keep him regardless.
That's
but
an insane feat.
You got to be able. I think at this point, like, you still got like guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin where you probably should just try to build again. And you pretty much have your quarterback. Might as well
Yeah,
just keep going with it.
they have the necessary tools to be contenders, but I'm not sure how big of a window they'll have because they
Yeah.
tried it last year with Tom, but Tom wasn't the Tom of old, and you can see that.
Yeah.
Considering where the offense is now compared to what it was last year, I think they're better than what they were last year. And that's nothing against Tom. It's just
Yeah,
overall,
no,
the offense is better.
I definitely agree with that. Like when you saw the way that Brady was playing at the end there, the last playoff game against Dallas, you knew it was time to go at that
It was
point.
time to go.
There was so many plays where it was just, geez, like we're really watching the last game of
Tom.
Brady right now.
Yeah. Now that we've gotten the Bucks out the way, it's time to talk about the 49ers.
Yeah. 49ers, they're back. They got the offense back. Everyone's healthy again. Trent Williams is healthy. Debo's healthy. Chase Young and Nick Bosa are absolute menaces.
On the edge. I don't know how I'm still pissed off we couldn't get him. Oh, that. I wanted him. How did they get him for a third round pick? Why couldn't we just give that up, Eric? Why couldn't we
The
just?
fact that it only took a third round pick is just ridiculous.
Yes, and we should have gave up our third round pick just to get him.
Yeah.
Unless they were just being like, nah, you got to give up more, Ravens. Just the third round pick is insane to me. And to the 49ers of all people, the rich get richer, especially on that D line with Javon Hargraves, Nick Bosa, and Tariq Armstead. That is ridiculous. That front seven is ridiculous.
It really is. Score predictions. I'd say 49ers by, I want to say 10, but oh man. I don't know, because I think the 49ers they're going to win this game, but it's not going to be like I feel like it's not going to be like last week, but maybe it is for all we know. We thought the Jaguars were going to come out competitive, and we're talking about Tampa Bay like they're going to come out competitive.
I don't think it'll be like last week. I think it'll be a lot more competitive, but again, it has to be more competitive than 34-3.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
You're thinking 24-3.
No. I'm thinking 49ers 30, Tampa Bay 21.
That's a good score. I
think that's fair.
I can roll with that. Yeah. I think that's very fair. I was about to say maybe 49ers by 10. 9 is very doable too for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Hell, we could even see them lose by 7.
I could see it. I think what will kill them in the end is just that tandem of Chase Young and Nick Bosa.
Yeah. Second game on the 425 slate. Jets-Bills. Jets going to Orchard Park. The forecast looks like going to be rain.
So this means it's going to be a defensive game. What's
probably going to be a defensive game. I don't really know how much the Bills are going to try to throw the ball. I know that the Jets are definitely going to try to pound the hell out of the ball this week with Breece Hall.
I don't know because the Bills just fired their OC, so I don't know how the Bills are going to look. So I can't believe I'm going to say it. I might pick the Jets here because if this is a defensive battle and it comes down to who turns the ball over less, I'm not sure I can trust Josh Allen right now. I'm not sure if I can. I can't do this to myself if the weather's not in his favor. Because all it takes is one horrendous pick and it's over for them.
Yeah, and I think that Robert Saleh could definitely get Zach Wilson or get a good game plan going where they can set Zach Wilson up for success again, just like they did week 1. Yeah. And try to get more of that ground and pound, set up the pass through the run type of thing. So they can try to limit those turnovers, but it's going to be tough because you got Zach Wilson. But this is huge game for the Bills right here because this is like the get right game that they need right now.
Yeah.
Huge get right game because if they lose this, you might as well forget them for the playoffs.
I wouldn't say forget it, but I don't see them beating any of the top echelon teams in the playoffs if they make it.
No, but like looking at the Bills' schedule, it's ridiculous because you got the Jets this week, and then you got the Eagles next week,
Yeah.
then the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
then the Cowboys,
Yep.
yeah, and then you got the Chargers and the Patriots. But at that point, you could easily be on a 3-game losing skid,
Yeah.
maybe even 4 if you lose this week.
I think this is a winnable game, and they should win this game. I think the problem is I don't know how that offense will look, considering they just fired their OC. Maybe they look like world beaters coming out, but I'm not sure. My problem is, do I trust Josh Allen not to turn the ball over against that Jets defense? And last time I saw, he threw 3 interceptions against them. That's my main concern. So I believe the Jets will commit less turnovers than the Bills, and I believe that's why the Jets might win. This is nasty. I'm picking the Jets.
Ugh. I'm gonna go Jets
hurts.
spread. I'm not gonna pick the Jets, but I think they'll cover. And I'm just trying to look for Josh Allen's last few games. Abysmal. So he has is it not going to give me fumbles? Oh, come on. But regardless of fumbles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row where he's thrown an interception. Abysmal. Absolutely abysmal.
Yes, and the last time he had like a great Josh Allen game was against the Dolphins, and that was in October.
Yeah.
The beginning of October.
And this is going back to the London game too.
Last year he threw 11 interceptions. This year he's thrown 11 interceptions. He's on pace to throw more.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to 20. But
I think we're underrating Josh Allen here, but he needs to protect the ball a little bit more. Not all of them have been his fault. Some of them have been tipped, some of them have been drop passes. But man, this needs to be fixed now.
Exactly. Let's move on here. Seahawks Rams. Vegas has this as a coin flip game.
I wouldn't say coin flip game. I got the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks too. I think Geno Smith really needs to have himself he needs to get himself a good game here. He hasn't really played all that great recently.
Yeah. I think
it's coming up
would do good for his confidence.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they've won 3 out of the last 4 now, including a win against the Browns. They did get their butt handed to them by the Ravens, obviously 37-3. But big problem here is Geno Smith here, right? And even in that Ravens game, Kenneth Walker couldn't get going. But last week, Geno Smith had a really good week, 369 yards, 2 touchdowns. But there's been quite a few games where he hasn't cracked 250 in general, right?
Yeah.
And so the Ravens, 157 yards, an interception. Granted, he did get sacked 4 times. The Browns game, he barely cracked 250, and he had 2 interceptions. The Cardinals game, where they won, 219 yards and an interception. When they beat the Giants, only 110 yards. When they lost to the Rams week 1, only 112 yards. Yeah, that's the other thing. This is the second time that the Rams and the Seahawks are playing, and the Rams beat them 30-13. And Geno had a really bad game.
Yeah, so hopefully against this team, against this opponent, he can bounce back and show, hey, first game was a fluke. It was the beginning of the season. Now let's get into it.
Yeah. We're a little short on time, so we'll get right into the primetime games here. We'll start with the Sunday night football matchup, the Vikings and the Broncos. The Broncos.
Vikings.
I'm going to pick the Vikings too, but the Broncos are actually the favorite here. Broncos are 2.5.
Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson has looked better. I will say that Russell Wilson has looked better.
Russ has looked a lot better.
Yes,
he's only
considering what he was last year, he's looked a lot better.
He's only thrown 4 interceptions this year.
Yeah, he's back to where he was when he was back in Seattle. But the Vikings have looked a lot better. I think they're going to play a lot better. I think this is a pick'em game, but all in all, I just think the Vikings are just a better team right now. So
yeah,
and Josh Dobbs is a solid quarterback for them, so I think he'll do enough to win them the game and keep that story going.
I'm gonna go Vikings by 3.
Vikings by 3. Yeah, I'll take that. Vikings by 3.
Yeah. And now the game of the week probably could have potential to be game of the year. The Super Bowl rematch, Eagles, Chiefs.
Oh.
Chiefs by 2.5. Both teams coming off the bye last week.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams healthy, ready to go. We could see some fireworks on Monday.
Oh, absolutely. I need to know. Oh man,
I don't see the Chiefs winning in this though.
I could see it. I can see it.
I can see more of Eagles shutting down the Chiefs receivers because that receiving core for the Chiefs has the most drops in the league. They don't do a good job of helping Mahomes out at all.
They don't.
And really, it's going to come down to if they can get Kelsey the ball and get the run game going with Pacheco, which they easily could. I love the way Pacheco runs. He just runs like
hard.
He runs the way a running back should be running.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
He runs through contact. I enjoy it.
He runs angry.
Mm-hmm.
That's like probably the best way to describe him.
Yeah. Looking at both teams, I agree that the Eagles on paper are the better team, but they were the better team in the Super Bowl, and yet somehow, some way, the Chiefs still managed to come out on top of that one. So, I want the Eagles to win because I need it for obvious reasons, but I'm probably gonna go Chiefs here by. I don't even want to say a field goal, maybe a 1-point game, 28-27.
I think this could easily turn into a game that we saw in the Super Bowl where it ends up being like 41-38 or whatever the final score of that game was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it being like that, but I can see more of the score line that you just threw up there, 28-27 or like 24-23, 21-20 maybe at best or at the least.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going Eagles on this?
I'm going Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs here.
Chiefs with the win, but Eagles covering.
Yeah.
Eagles are pretty good against the spread, I'm pretty sure, actually.
They're a good team.
Yeah.
But I need AJ Brown to do well for fantasy purposes, of course.
Of course. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, man. Oh, here it is. I was trying to find. Yeah. So Eagles against the spread are 5-2-2. Chiefs against the spread 6-3. Good luck betting this game. Final thoughts before we sign off.
Game of the week, obviously, is Monday Night Football. I'm going to be watching that one to see how the Chiefs do in that game and another potential Super Bowl rematch. if it's in the cards. All in all, I wish Joe Burrow a speedy recovery and hope everything's okay. Go Ravens. I wish I had a broom so I could show the sweep that we did, but all in all, pretty good week of football right now, and more football still ahead.
And the injury report investigation for Joe Burrow is definitely going to be something to look out for as well.
Yeah.
In the coming days. But that'll do it for us today. Thank you for listening to us. New episode going to be coming out on Tuesday at 7:30. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have all our episodes available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, and so much more. And be sure to follow our Instagram and TikTok, Fumblerooski_podcast, or TikTok, Fumblerooski podcast, to keep up with our pod and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, from myself, Chris Costich, Justin Tucker, we say so long and see you on Tuesday night.
Take care.